How you doing, nerds? This is me. Gonna do a review of Girls. This is the last season, season 6. And the first episode was called All I Ever Wanted. So, jumping straight in, I'll just talk about some of the character interactions as they, obviously at the beginning of the season, tell what characters have been since we last seen them. Marnie and Desi are still going through the paperwork of their divorce, and there's a lot of tension there. Then this episode erupts into maybe lovemaking, maybe just kissing. But in getting to the music, they seem to have an explosive moment. I'm really hoping it doesn't mean that they're gonna try to salvage their relationship, although Marnie has been very closed off to Ray, even though she's let him in her life, but not completely in, given that she won't let him move in, even though he sleeps there every night and she got really insecure, or still is really insecure. Well, she's allowed. Let's see, Jessa. Yes, I remember her name finally. Jessa and Adam. Their relationship is still going strong after all the hiatus-ness. And they seem to be wonderfully, wonderfully dysfunctional. Taking over Ray's house since he has been absent for so long. And basically making it their own, even though they're total assholes for doing it. Walking around naked, I think it was really, really funny to me. And it really just shows their comfortability in general. And it seems like Adam is a lot more laid back. Like, he seems almost like Desi. He's so laid back. So let's see how long that lasts. Especially if Hannah has more influence on their lives. Although it's interesting to note that Jessa didn't want to read Hannah's article, but Adam did. Jessa's actually the only person who they didn't show from Hannah's main support network who didn't want to read it. And probably because it hurt her so bad. Just to know that her best friend, Ed's best friend, made an article that's in the newspaper about how she stole her boyfriend. That's kind of fucked up. So I'm assuming that's going to explode. I don't think their relationship is going to last. Although I don't think that means that Hannah and Adam would get together, even though that's technically my OTP. Backpedaling just a little bit, I thought we were actually going to see the tour play out in real time. We did some month skipping, so the tour's already over, and we revealed that Desi basically just slept with girls most of the tour and wasn't really just like there for just the music. And they didn't make any money because his life coach didn't want to sell any of the CDs or any of the merch, really. So that sucked. But it's nice. It's like, okay, we knew that was going to be a crashing plane, so it's nice that we get that in retrospect as opposed to having to endure it on screen when we know it's going to not pan out well. I like Ray's love triangle right now, even though it's breaking apart anyway, since Marnie is technically still in the Desi. She was kind of jealous of Shosh. Gears were just turning in my head, and I was just like, oh, maybe the scene happened where Marnie and Desi make out, because it happens like, I don't know, a couple scenes after they show her bring coffee to Shoshana and Ray, who are already enjoying coffee to very, very specific, a very specific kind of coffee. And it's like, oh, Shoshana knows your not boyfriend, kind of boyfriend, whatever, more than you do. And she was not okay with Ray crashing or living at Shoshana's, even though they're super, super cool now. They might explode in the sets, but I think it will be interesting if they end up being like the bigger people the entire season. I would really love that. Other than the thing with Adam, Jessa wasn't really touched upon that much. Shaysha's seems like she's doing pretty well. She seemed happy, and her and Ray are kind of like riffing off of each other and like really like, oh man, like, oh, this political discourse, oh, you know, they're like all old fogies together. So I guess that would make Marnie upset, even though she didn't say anything. She just held it in, holding my emotions in. I think that the montage at the beginning of everyone reading Hannah's article is really nice. It almost made me cry. I mean, like in certain movies and certain genres of television, that will be the final scene at the end of the season. Everyone reading is like, oh look, she did a thing. It's nice. She's successful now. So I think it was nice that they started the season off with that. So we're kind of like starting on a train of success. And it really sets up what's happening now with Hannah, which is really, really cool. At least I think so. Because the show's already played with non-monogamy before. But I think that in showing people using non-monogamy as an excuse to be kind of shitty people, it's really interesting, and I will say people who aren't used to or familiar with non-monogamy in general might be a little upset at the way it's treated. And it's really interesting because this guy that Hannah is falling for is like, seems like a really awesome guy, and it's like he's really accepting, and you know, he's just like really cool. And then there's a letdown. He has a girlfriend, and I was like, wow, like he has these like set parameters, but like technically he's not breaking any rules. You just set your expectations a certain way because you expected this to turn into something, even though you guys were both under the guise of single. Although I think it's interesting how honest this guy is when asked, kinda, and how, I mean, obviously knowing beforehand would definitely turn a person off. But he's openly talking about having orgies with his coworkers. So, I mean, that doesn't say you must be poly, but it does say that you're sexually adventurous on a regular basis. Which is really interesting. It really made me sad that Hannah was just kind of blowing off the whole paid surf thing. I personally would love to have a job where I can go around doing stuff and I'll just get paid to do it, stuff that I would want to do, like surfing. But obviously they wanted Hannah for different reasons than just, oh, they thought that this would be a great way to like teach people about stuff that happens. No, it's like a cultural thing, and it's like Hannah's take on things, and they're like trying to market her. And it's kind of gross. It gets under my skin a little bit. I don't want Hannah writing for a newspaper or a magazine. I want Hannah writing for, like, a TV show. But I don't know if Lena Dunham will kind of bring it back to that. Because if they do, then it's kind of like, wow, this really was autobiographical. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But it's interesting to think about. Because now I'm trying to postulate how the series might end. And I'm wondering if she's going to go a dark route, more like the movie Tiny Furniture that she did, or if she's gonna like instill some hope in like the millennials. Why am I talking like I'm not a millennial? This episode was really good. It was longer than I thought it was, about 41 minutes. That was great. I do like the corner that Hannah turned with her character, and accepting that this guy that she was really enjoying was poly, and trying not to let it get to her, even though she wanted to claim this person and really wanted to make it her own. I think the whole thought of like being happy, which they actually do talk about, how all her friends like they're most vocal about all the things they hate, not the things that they like. And so she only knows the things that her friends don't like and not what her friends do like. It's kind of like stepping around eggshells. It's kind of funny. But in accepting that, you know, she can't own this thing that's happening, and she can't like harvest this happiness, that she can be kind of free in it, which I think is like how the episode cutting out is supposed to instill, because that's happiness. It is a little melancholy, I will say that, but I will say that this is happier than I expected Hannah to be, honestly, especially with all that she's been through. She needs a little happiness, but it does suck, and there's no winning there for her once she goes back to her life if she can't like make her relationships better. So I think it's interesting. I think that how Hannah deals with her happiness and the happiness of the people important to her is really going to determine how the series will end and what kind of memory Lena Dunham wants to put with this series. I'm very interested to see where some of these other characters go. I'm very interested to see if this this guy with a girlfriend that Hannah's having fun with ends up being in any other episodes. I would think it'd be interesting. Actually, I really hope that he's not, because it would set a very interesting tone, because Hannah does a thing where she holds on very tight to people who give her happiness and make her feel good about herself. So tight that she kind of hurts the relationship. She suffocates it in a way, or she expects so much out of it because it made her happy that she expected to solve all the problems that we all have. I think that Hannah's dilemmas are dilemmas that we all face, millennial or not, at least on a basic level. Maybe not like the internet and like procrastinating. I mean, I procrastinate a lot, especially about exercise, so yeah. I hope you guys are really liking it. You folks are really liking it. I'm gonna try to keep up reviews for every episode, because Girls is very important to me, even though I've only done season reviews for the last 2 seasons, not anything else. But you know, life is crazy, right? I hope anyone who watched this video really enjoyed it. I'm gonna try to keep up on the reviews, and I'll see you guys later.